go. Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, River Liberty, and with me is...
Was Mohammed Yusuf.
And we've got some stuff. We've got PlayStation Plus and games with gold for the month of June. We've got Need for Speed Payback. We've got Nintendo Switch Online detailed. And we've got Overwatch Horizon map and patch notes. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. I played a little bit of some more Binding of Isaac, a little bit more Zelda. But then I finally reached the end. I finished Persona 5. I did it! It took me 2 months, which is usually how long it takes for me to finish a Persona game. But I was so satisfied with the ending. I couldn't be happier of how it ended. Me and my sister were cheering. There was a sequence that was the best. Oh my god, I was so happy with how the game concluded. And,
Are there multiple endings?
There are multiple endings, but the true ending is the one that is the one that's it's the good ending, right?
Okay, and you got the true ending.
Sorry?
You got the true
I
ending.
got the true ending. It's not, honestly, the true ending is not that hard to get. You just there is a particular dialogue option that gets you one of the bad endings. And however, I won't say more, but I did get what I consider the fuck up ending. In which it's really early on. It's early on in the game in which I made a decision that I thought was correct, like a dialogue option that I thought was correct, and then I realized, oh no, that was not what I was supposed to say, and the game literally told me, I feel like I made a horrible choice, and that this was clearly the wrong choice, and then it leads to like an amazing cutscene, and I was just like, oh boy. But yeah, no, honestly, that game was great, and just finished that off, and now I've got my huge list of games to bump into. I might go back into Andromeda. I'm not sure yet, because I'm debating whether or not I want to go back into Nier Automata or Andromeda, and I'm kind of torn right now because my friend is telling me that I should beat Andromeda because he wants to talk about the story and stuff like that because he's already beaten it. Most of my friends have already beaten Andromeda. I'm like the only one who hasn't. I don't know. I'll have to see what I'm really feeling like playing. But that's really what I did this week. What about you, Fawaz?
So I mostly play Gwent.
Nice.
They have I'm just trying to build up my collection again because it's tough, right? I played it for a couple of months. I built up a respectable collection of cards, and I lost everything. So I'm just
right.
I'm just currently doing my daily quests, building up scrap, building up ore, buying packs, kegs as they're called. I posted a couple of videos on the channel. Other than that, I've been messing around with Persona a little bit. I made it to the fourth dungeon.
Yeah.
The pyramid.
The pyramid. It's the one in Egypt. Sort of.
Yeah. I made it to the fourth dungeon, and I was like, when Tanner said that this game gets pretty dark sometimes, he wasn't kidding. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is dark. This is really dark subject matter. And it's not even... Sorry. What?
I was just going to say, yeah, that part is pretty dark, but I really like how that dungeon is handled. Like, it's handled
The dungeon's fun. I'm enjoying it. I beat... not beat. Kaneshiro's dungeon, I made it to, like, the very end in my first try. There was... You have the bunch of locks you have to open.
Yeah.
There was literally one lock left, and I had run out of SP on all my characters, so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna back out. But with her dungeon, it's taking me a lot longer. One of the biggest problems is I ran into Anubis.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Anubis is tough. Anubis
has no weaknesses. Like literally, I tried every. I've literally tried
Anubis has no weaknesses. Anubis is the kind of guy you want to make sure you have either someone who has protection against light or dark.
Light? Yeah.
Because if they cast Haman on you, oh boy howdy.
Yeah. So I have Isis. I think she has protection from light and dark. So I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
going to have her equipped all the time, just to
just in
protect my
case,
thing.
just to protect yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Because no, my friends warned me. They were like, that, "Yeah, you're gonna start getting to the dungeons with enemies that just insta kill you if you don't have protection." So I was like, "Okay, sounds good." But yeah, like overall, man, we did just going through the dialogue options and the stuff, and I'm like, "Wow, this is." And it's not even like dark subject matter like Game of Thrones, where
Hmm.
people are getting okay.
Bad shit is happening in game. Like the dark stuff. It's
Yeah,
it.
like people are giving birth to shadow babies and
Yeah.
getting murdered at weddings and stuff. This is like real shit, and I'm just
Hmm.
like, damn, that's damn.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's very it feels, and I really like how they handle that because it feels realistic, and
That's
it's done really well. I also really like the reveal of actually, I don't know how far are you in the dungeon.
I'm about halfway through.
I honestly don't know if the reveal happens before or after the dungeon. You know what? I'm gonna keep quiet about it. There's a reveal in that dungeon that I thought was really cool. I thought was
Okay,
really
yeah,
cool.
let's keep quiet about it until I finish the dungeon.
Until you finish the dungeon, because I'm not sure if because my memory's hazy because I got to that part like a month ago, right?
How ironic would it be if Mister? Oh my God, I don't, I try to avoid spoilers.
And I just
Spoils me
actually spoiled. It's like, yeah, that part in the dungeon where everyone died, that was crazy, right?
But yeah, I must have been playing that. I did a little bit of Overwatch because like, how you have your weekly quest. In arcade
Yeah.
mode, if you win 3 games in arcade mode, you get 3 loot boxes. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've barely been playing the game, so I
Yeah,
did my
yeah,
loot boxes. I got my 3 loot boxes. I got lucky actually. Because I just did arcade mode and
yeah.
the 3v3 mode. It's fun. It's fun. Like straight up, there's no denying it's fun. It's a lot harder now though because, like I said, you can't just pick 76 Roadhogs and yada
Right.
and just keep rolling. Now, the flip side of that, of course, is that your opponent can't just pick Roadhog 76 and say yada, and they have to start getting creative too. And then the other good thing is that when you have like stupid one tricks, Widowmaker and Hanzo one tricks on your team.
Hmm.
Okay, the positive is that if you have a Widowmaker and Hanzo one trick on your team and you guys win a round, they can't
They
pick those
can't
one
stick
tricks
with
anymore.
that. Yeah.
The negative is that if you guys keep losing, they can just keep picking them, and you guys are just
Yeah.
gonna keep losing.
You're just gonna keep
But
losing.
I mean, I guess it's good because it means that the match is over quicker. I'd rather lose.
Well,
I'd rather
you
lose.
know what? I honestly I think it's really good because I like. Well, one, it gives a variety, right? And then
Hmm.
there's also some people that are just so freaking good with the one hero that they play that it's
Yeah,
like I feel like I am outclassed, and the fact that it's like I can just go, hey, I can just switch. I know that because they won that round, I'm not gonna have to deal with this Genji that's just dodging all over the place and being a pain in the ass.
yeah,
So
yeah. So it's fun. It's fun. I played it a little bit. I tried to 1v1 again. It didn't go very well. Okay, they also added this. This is something that I just discovered. They added a new feature. So once the game gets to a certain point, right?
Mhm.
If the game goes on for too long, because you know how in the old 3v3 mode, if it went on for too long, they revealed the enemy. They gave both of you wall hacks, and then you had like a minute to kill each other, right?
Yeah,
However, what used to happen was that certain heroes, like Lucio, for example, you literally can't catch a Lucio.
yeah.
If the Lucio is just trying to run away, it's very difficult to catch him, right? So what they've done now is that once a certain amount of time passes, a point is going to unlock on the map,
Mm.
and whoever captures that point wins the game. So it's like a tiebreaker, and then it forces both people to go into the circle and duke it out. So
Yeah.
it's. I mean, on one hand, it's pretty cool because it reduces the number of ties. On the other hand, it does kind of suck because it makes comebacks difficult. Like I don't want to sit here and pop off. I've had like one or two like 3v1 comebacks, right?
Mm.
And part of the reason why those comebacks were possible was because I could play patiently.
Yeah. And
I
wait for
have
them to
been
make a mistake, essentially.
exactly. You'd keep running away, and then you'd wait for them to separate, and then you'd 1v1 them 3 times versus having to fight 3v1. However, with this new system, all three of them are going to go into the point, and then you're going to have to fight all three of them, or you're just going to lose. So it makes comebacks a lot harder to do now, which kind of sucks because comebacks were already really difficult to do in a mode with no health packs and no respawns. But I understand why they did it, and it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I would say losing the ability to do those kind of comebacks, I think, is outweighed by not having the other problem, which was the campers in the stupid spawn room, which was a bigger issue, and that sucked.
Exactly. So yeah, it's it sucks, but like this is the lesser of two evils, I feel, and fun stuff.
So you want to get into some news?
Let's get into some news. So as is tradition at the end of the month, Sony and Microsoft have revealed what games you'll be getting for free. The games with gold, you get speedrunners, which I've literally never heard of. You get speedrunners.
I've played speed. I haven't played speedrunners, but I know of speedrunner. It's a very fun. It's basically. I'm trying to think of. It's a party. It's a really good party game in which you basically you're speed running. There's obstacles that can kill you. Basically, it's an obstacle course, but you go around in a circle, right? So you're doing like wall jumps, you're jumping over spikes, you're doing slides, you're using a grapple hook kind of deal, right? But the thing is that the longer that the match goes, the screen starts to get smaller. Like there's this zone of death that starts to creep on the screen. So you have to actually it forces you to be as fast as humanly possible. And the goal is to just be the last one standing. And it is a really fun party game. It is a really fun.
Okay, so yeah, speedrunners. There you go. It got Tanner's stamp of approval, so go out and download that. Watch Dogs is free for the Xbox One. Not bad. Assassin's Creed 3, it's the Xbox 360 version, but backwards compatible. Dragon Age Origins, which is a really good game, I recommend it. Probably it hasn't aged very well though. And then there's gonna be some DLC for Phantom Dust, which came out a little while back and was free, by the way. So I feel like this is pretty cool. And this definitely, did I mention this on the podcast? Where I felt like Microsoft was doing this with Phantom Dust to try to promote it because they were going to announce a bigger version at E3. Did I mention this at the podcast?
I think you mentioned it at some point, but that is a very interesting point. Is that it feels like the way that they're doing this Phantom Dust remake is essentially like they're trying to get people like, oh yeah, Phantom Dust, that's a thing, and reintroduce an old IP so that way when it's E3, people are going, oh, Phantom Dust 2, and not going Phantom Dust 2?
Yeah, because when they announced Phantom Dust, I think I was one of the only people in the entire world that was like, oh shit, it's a new Phantom Dust.
Oh, that's a wonderful feeling.
That's pretty cool. And then the PlayStation Plus lineup, Killing Floor 2, which is I played the open beta, and it's pretty fun. It's a co-op zombie shooter, and
we're going into PlayStation Plus right now.
Sorry?
We're going into PlayStation Plus?
Yes,
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, just because you kind of moved into PlayStation Plus without saying it, so it's like it sounded like Killing Floor 2 was for the Xbox.
Killing Floor 2 is a really cool game. There's multiple floors in this. There's multiple floors in this building that you're going through. It's 4-player co-op.
Yeah, it's 4-player co-op. Yeah, 4-player.
4-player co-op, and then you guys are going through the floors, you're tackling the zombies, and then after every floor there's like a rest period where you can buy, you get money for like kills and stuff like that, and then during the rest period you can buy better weapons, better armor, more ammo, upgrade your stuff. So it's cool. There's different classes. I didn't really.
There's Berserker. I know because my friend is super happy that this game is out for free because he has been telling me, dude, get Killing Floor 2, get Killing Floor 2, and all of us are like it looks like a good game, but I don't know. And now we have no reason not to. We can just download the game and be, hey, if you want to play some Killing Floor 2, we can play some Killing Floor 2. Because I've seen a lot of Killing Floor 1, right? And I've actually played some Killing Floor 1, and it's a really, really solid horde mode. Like, it's a really solid, zombie. I think the coolest thing that Killing Floor does is that for no reason other than it looks awesome the game goes into slow motion. And as stupid as it sounds, it actually is kind of satisfying when you're getting surrounded by a 20-man group of zombies and everything starts to slow down.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna download it. We'll see.
mhm,
Then Life is Strange. This is very interesting. So I've heard a lot of good stuff about this game, but
mhm.
I've never actually looked up a review. I know it's like an episodic adventure game,
Yeah.
and it got like critical acclaim, like crazy critical acclaim. So I'm not entirely sure why, but
I think it's. I've heard a lot of good things about it because weirdly, I think it was also it kind of threw people off guard because it was it was made by it was made by an indie group and Square Enix, which is bizarre. You don't see a whole lot of like let's say point and click adventures, at least from like Square Enix. So that was another thing. I heard that the story was really interesting and weird, and it had like some interesting sci-fi elements to it.
yeah, she can
But
travel back in time.
yeah,
So
that kind of
so
thing. And
so
I
one
hear I hear from what somebody told me is that they said that the final episode has a very poignant moment,
uh
and I honestly this is why I was actually really happy when I saw these two games because these are both games that I've actually really wanted to play, but I've always been like I'll play that later or whatnot, and now I can just get them both for free.
yeah. Yeah, the yeah, cool stuff. I'm gonna download them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if I can find time in between trying to finish Persona 5
Gwent.
and Gwent and trying to get as many loot boxes as I can in Overwatch. And I still haven't tried out Titanfall 2 yet. I still can find time in between all of those games to try these ones out. But I'll definitely download them and add them to my backlog. And then who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So overall, a really good month. Oh wait, there's other games. Abyss Odyssey for PS3, WRC5 World Championship Rally for PS3, Neon Chrome for Vita, Spy Chameleon for Vita. Anyway, overall, it's a pretty cool.
I mean, like, hey, those games are interesting, but we have less to talk about them. Like,
I don't
I think honestly, I'm pretty impressed with both parties this month.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they
this is a
brought
really
some good
good
titles. And definitely bang for your buck for both of them because Killing Floor is still like a $40 game, I think. So
Yeah. Killing Floors is still like 40 or $30. Life is Strange will probably run you about $30 as well. So yeah, bang for your buck right here.
Yeah.
With both of these with both of these months. Shout outs to Sony and shout outs to Microsoft. Good shit, guys. Good shit. Last month was not great. So nice bounce back month.
Hey, there we go.
Speaking of bounce back, EA are trying to bounce back with a new Need for Speed. Need for Speed Payback. So Need for Speed, it's funny because I watch a lot of zero punctuation reviews. Now, one of his biggest pet peeves is when they reboot a franchise with a new game that it loses all the numbers and it's just the same name, right?
Yeah, that's the worst.
So that's what they did in 2015 with Need for Speed. They released a new Need for Speed just called Need for Speed. So we're gonna have to start calling it Need for Speed 2015. So anyway, Need for Speed 2015 flopped. It flopped really hard. It came out. It wasn't critically or commercially successful. So EA are trying to bounce back with this game. One of the biggest issues, one of the big causes for contention was the fact that even when you were playing single player, the game required an online connection.
Yeah. And nobody likes that.
You know how much people. Yeah, you know how much people love that. So there was that, and those other minor things with the game. So anyway, this new Need for Speed, the first thing that they've said is that it's not going to be always online. If you're playing the single player campaign, you can play that fully offline. So good. Good to hear that. Then second, they're trying to do like a really big story mode with this, which always has me worried because here's the thing: I just want a competent arcade racing game, period. Like Midnight Club. Midnight Club, there was no story. You were racing for cars. That was it. There was like a minor story. Maybe there was a story. I wouldn't know. I skipped all the cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Surprise. So,
I want... You know what I want? I want someday for you to play a game that has like the most compelling story, but you just skipped it regardless, and then you're going like, that game had a story?
I'll play Life is Strange and I'll skip all the cutscenes.
Oh my god. I would love to see like a live stream of Life is Strange with all the cutscenes skipped, and you just have to kind of figure out what's going on in the gameplay sequences. Oh,
But
God.
anyway, Need for Speed Payback, as it's being called,
Mhm.
is being described as an action-driving fantasy in a story told from multiple perspectives. So, the campaign in Need for Speed Payback will allow players to drive as three different characters: Tyler, the racer, Mac, the showman, and Jess, the wheelman, who team up to get revenge on the House, a cartel that runs the criminal underworld of the fictional city
Ooh.
of Fortune Valley. EA is promising. Sorry, was that a giggle?
I'm just laughing. No, keep going. Keep going.
EA is promising intense heist mission, high stakes car battles, epic cop pursuits, and jaw dropping set pieces. So they're promising Fast and Furious, a video game, pretty much.
That's
So
what they're promising, and the way that this is described, I am very curious what they would consider jaw dropping sequences.
I don't know, something with a tank on a highway or something.
Yeah.
Who knows
Who
these
knows?
days? So anyway, as is often the case now, if you pre-order, you will get the Platinum Car Pack, which comes with 5 souped-up cars that can outfitted, upgraded, whatever. I can go through the name of the cars, but I don't think anyone that's listening to this podcast actually cares. So, all in all, the game looks good. Like, graphically, the game looks amazing, actually. I watched the trailer, and it looks beautiful. It does look very, very reminiscent of Fast and Furious, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, I feel like the Fast and Furious franchise, say that 5 times fast, is lend itself to a really good video game. I'm actually surprised we've never gotten a good Fast and Furious video game. We got like Fast and Furious DLC.
We've gotten
before,
some Fast and Furious games before, but they were not great. I have seen some footage of some that are quite amazing. But honestly, I feel like, it makes sense because, like, a lot of the people that really like Fast and Furious, like, they just want to see some cool action sequences with some really nice-looking cars. And, I mean, Need for Speed has really nice-looking cars, so why not adopt something similar to that?
Exactly. The one thing that worries me whenever they talk about focus on single player is that, you know, I can't remember which Need for Speed it was, but there was this one Need for Speed. You know, he's in the middle of this single player mission, and then he gets out of his car, and it's like a big quick time event where he's running on top of the rooftops and shit. And I'm like, this is terrible. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, like just keep us in the cars, okay? I didn't buy Need for Speed to do like hand-to-hand combat or like have a shootout sequence. I just want to race. So I'm glad that when they were describing the single-player content, everything that they described revolved around cars.
Yeah. Just keep it fails every time. Every time it's like, you know, there's a game or there's a series that's like, okay, people love it because it's solely like you're in the cockpit of a plane, or if you're, you know, on a ship, or you're, you know, in a car. Whenever it's like, we're gonna allow you to get out of the car, holy moly, minds are gonna get blown. It's like, it never works. Like the greatest example is Star Fox Adventure. Like, everyone hated that Star Fox got out of the ship and didn't fly the ship for half the game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say the greatest example was Driver.
Driver, yeah. But Driver San Francisco, I think, is pretty good. But the original Driver, yeah, I would say.
I mean, to be fair, I do think there is one exception that we're forgetting, and that would be... Wait, no, scratch that. I was gonna say Grand Theft Auto, because I think you couldn't get out of the car in the first Grand Theft Auto, but you could. No, I just don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah. Generally, and you know what? Even if Grand Theft Auto was the exception, the fact of the matter is, more often than not, when you take a game that revolves around something, you know, like driving, or like if you give us an Ace Combat game where you could get out of the car and start shooting down people, it's like no one wants that. I didn't buy Star Fox to play a Legend of Zelda game, which is pretty much what they did.
That's pretty much what they were doing, and it wasn't even a good Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, you know, so stop doing that. And so I'm glad to see, or hear anyway, that you know, when they listed all the stuff that you could do in the single player campaign, literally all of it revolved around driving. So that, you know, that's makes me feel a lot better. We're gonna see a lot more gameplay of this at E3. Funny enough, you know, E3 is next week.
I know. It creeped up on me because I've been in Persona Land for like the last couple months, so I haven't been really paying attention to the days.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you guys hear this, E3 will be in like 3 days actually, or you know, it would have been 2 weeks ago, depending on when Tana puts the podcast up.
Okay, Listen. For those who were confused why 3 podcasts came up at once and went, what the fuck? That was my B. That was my bad. I essentially ran out of time because I recently got hired full time, and yeah, my time has certainly disappeared. Is one way to describe it. But I will keep, like I said, I will keep the podcast up at a consistent rate, and you will probably see this in next Saturday.
I'm sorry.
You had to throw me under the bus. It's fine. I like the view from the bus underneath it. It's great.
I like that. I love that analogy, by the way. I was like, okay, I get what he's trying to say now. I love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Need for Speed looks cool.
Looks cool.
One game that looks interesting is Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
So Sonic Forces released a trailer a couple weeks ago, but it's never too late to tackle some interesting news. It released a trailer that allowed you to do something that you've never been able to do in a Sonic game before, and that was create your own character. So yeah, it released a character creation trailer for a Sonic game, which confused me. Now, I watched the trailer, and the character creation, it looks cool. And the coolest part is that it looked like Sonic. The characters that you were creating, they look like Sonic characters. So they had, like, the pouches, because the Sonic characters always have to have those stupid pouches. Yeah. They had some cool stuff, and it looked interesting. But I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I can only describe this as it's going to be the biggest shit show in the world. And it does, on paper, it doesn't seem that bad. On paper, it makes perfect sense. Hey, Sonic fans, why don't we give them the ability to make Sonic they will be able to make their Sonic OC. And the problem with that is that particular part of the Sonic fan base is very, very, let's call it dark. It's a very dark part of the fan base in which Sonic OCs and very, very special types of Sonic art are created. And, yeah, when that hits PC, things are gonna get bad. Things are gonna get bad, real bad. Jim Sterling made a very, very funny video about how that is going to end. I can only say this, I feel as much of a shit show as this is going to create, and Prego Shinkai, the Rebel King Hedgehog, will now become canon.
Wait. What's this? Prego Shinkai?
Prego Shinkai, the Rebel King Hedgehog, is a name. I've talked about before. There's this really amazing fan game called Sonic Dream Collection. And it's essentially, there's a parody. It's a parody on that part of the Sonic franchise. And it's very funny in a dark kind of way. I think I'm breaking Fawaz right now because he has no idea what he's talking about, and I would say that is probably the best place to be in this scenario. Honestly, all jokes aside, I think this is probably going to be really good for the game. The game is going to sell. Like, this is going to sell because Sonic fans are going to go nuts over this feature. Like, just flat out, people are going to buy this game now. Because I know a lot of people that were on the fence before this game came out, but with that, it's just going to sell like hotcakes. Like, there's just no way. I think, like, Fawaz has nothing to say. I think he's still struggling with what the hell Prego Shinkai, the Rebel King Hedgehog, actually means.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what? I'm never gonna keep searching before I find something that makes me envy Ray Charles. So let's just move on and yeah. So in less
dark news.
Well, I mean, relatively speaking, Nintendo detailed the online services for the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is that online is going to be free until 2018. I did not specify the month, but hey, at the very least you're guaranteed. At the very least you're guaranteed like 6 more months of free online gameplay.
Yeah.
So you can play Legend of Zelda online for free the next 6 months or so. Anyway, they also detailed the prices. So 1 month of membership is going to be $4. 3 months is going to be 8. And 12 months is going to be 20. So Tanner, just FYI, if you buy month to month, it's going to cost you twice as much on the Nintendo Switch.
I am aware of this. But when I saw that number, I was like, is that fucking real?
Yeah, $20.
I was shocked. I was shocked because I was assuming that I was going to be paying like similar or at least around the same price for PlayStation Plus or something, or games with gold, or I was expecting that. In stark comparison, when you think about how much like a year of PlayStation costs, like $70 or something like that.
Yeah. It's 60 in America. I don't know if it's 70 here, or if that's the one thing that hasn't been. Yeah, it's probably 70 here.
And in stark comparison, $20 a year is a really good deal.
Now, the one thing of note is that they also detail what you get with the online gameplay, and it's not a lot. So you get online gameplay.
Yeah.
You get the online lobby and voice chat app, which I'll get to later. Classic game selection, product name subject to change. So you're gonna get like a free NES game a month. For a month, by the way. So, and then the Nintendo eShop.
Oh wait, deal, so you don't know about the update on that, right?
No. What's that?
The update is that it's not like you get it for a month and then it's gone. It's you get it indefinitely.
Oh, okay.
It is they've updated it to explain that it will be similar to PlayStation Plus but with NES games.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's I mean, for what you're paying for, this is probably not a bad this is not a bad deal. And one dude mentioned in the comment section, he was like that if Sony offered a $20 online service with just the online, he'd probably pick it up because he doesn't really touch the instant games. And I've mentioned on the podcast a lot that I was like that like if they just gave me, the only reason why I pay for my online subscription is because of Overwatch, right? Like if they just gave me a way to just
like
play Overwatch,
a separate package where it's like, all right, you're paying for online, but you don't get any access to PlayStation Plus discounts, you don't get access to PlayStation Plus games, but you are going to get online play. And if that online play, maybe voice chat, but if that's all you want, that's all you can.
I'd probably take it too. And now, all in all, it's for how much you're paying, because you're only paying $20. It's not as robust as like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live, but then it's also like a third of the price. So there is that. The one thing I wanted to touch on is the online lobby and voice chat. Our new dedicated smart device app will connect to Nintendo Switch and let you invite friends to play online. Set play appointments, chat with friends during online matches and compatible games, all from your smartphone. A free limited version of the app will be available for download in the summer of 2017. This worries me. This worries me because for me, I'm just... Okay, this can go one of two ways, right? This could be the future right here, right? They could add a really cool application on your phone that simplifies handling your online.
It's a little bit confusing because I saw one of the mock-ups, and I don't know if this is going to be like for every system or if this is how it's going to work for every single game, but the mock-up that I'm seeing right now is that you have your phone, it connects to an adapter, and then you can connect your headphone to that adapter. So it's confusing. It's confusing. Like, there's no way around it. It's a confusing setup, and I know exactly why Nintendo's doing it. I mean, it makes perfect sense. They can use this as if they were using this phone app and somebody went on Splatoon and started saying the N-word like a machine gun, they don't have to take responsibility for that. And that's essentially the biggest problem from day one, is that's why they've always steered away from voice chat, period, is because of that reasoning. They don't want to be responsible for the parents losing their shit when their kids go online, and because there will always be one. there will always be one person who's going to do that, no matter what it is. It could be if they had a Mario Paint game with voice online. I'm sure there'd be one person saying some really awful shit. But it sucks. It sucks in the sense where it's like, yeah, if it sucks that I do wish that we could just get a simpler version of this.
Yeah, and that's a straw man argument too, because it's like that. Okay, well, there's lots of profane people on the Xbox One and the PS4. When was the last time you saw a headline of a parent suing Sony because their son heard some really racist stuff online? It doesn't happen because there's no grounds. There's no grounds. Like that's a ridiculous. That is a ridiculous argument, because it's like you're arguing over something that hasn't happened. You're like, oh no, but what if this happens? It's like, well, the PC has had voice chat for like 3 decades now, and it hasn't happened. The PS4 and the Xbox 360 have had voice chat for like a decade, maybe a decade and a half. I don't feel like doing the math right now, and this doesn't happen, right?
Wait. Like, when you say it doesn't happen, what do you mean by that?
I mean that people get cussed out, right? But like, you're saying that Nintendo want to wash their hands of this. They don't want anyone to be able to blame them for this. And it's like no one has ever blamed Sony for someone getting
Oh, you're saying,
okay,
because, sorry, I was confused by that, because I was saying that this just, you saying that this just doesn't happen, I'm like, what? But no. If you're saying that no one really actually goes after them. The way,
it's literally never happened, And then here's the other thing that really pisses me off, and it's this idea, and this goes back to my complaint with Atlas. It's Atlas, right? That made Persona 5.
Yes, Fawaz, that is, yeah. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Hey, thank you.
When you boot up the game and it literally says Atlas in big, bold text?
I mean, no one pays attention to the opening parts of a game, okay? Tell me what engine they used, Tana. Tell me.
They used the P Studio engine.
Oh, okay, well.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway.
I watch that opening every time because it's awesome. And you can't stop me.
Anyway, this goes back to that argument I had with Atlas, blocking recording, right? I'm like, we're not children, okay? We aren't children, despite the fact that Nintendo obviously thinks that we are. We're not children. We don't need you to protect us from ourselves, right? Like it's ridiculous. This concept that we're babies and we need you to cover our eyes and block our ears. It's like I'm a grown-ass man, and you're sitting here saying, oh my God, I don't want us to hear racial slurs. It's like, well, then take me out of North America, because what are you? Seriously, it's so stupid. And then like there's just one line I heard that just spoke to me. It was like censorship. Because this is what this is to an extent. It's like saying a man can't eat steak because his baby can't chew it. And I'm like, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Why are you punishing me because there's children on your console that Anyway, let me not.
No. I mean, like, everything you're saying, I think, is completely valid. Like, absolutely. And I think there is a certain level of ridiculous to it. But I can't.
It's condescending.
It's condescending, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not a parent, right? I'm not a parent, and I probably won't be a parent for a really long time. But if I was a parent and I wanted to get my son a video game console, and it's like they want to play Splatoon, it's like I can see that being an issue, and it's like here's the thing: I can give you a real life example. My sister played MapleStory, right? Mm-hmm. Way back in the day, she booted it up on her computer, and my dad was really upset when some guy walked by her, my 10-year-old sister, and called her a fucking bitch for no reason, ran away, and then, like, my sister didn't know what that meant. And that was not great that she had to learn it in that way. So, like, that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm kind of like, that's why I'm always like, I don't know how to feel about this. I know I know it's ridiculous and stupid, but it's like, I feel like Nintendo needs to find a better solution. That much is certain. Nintendo needs to find a better solution than its current solution.
There
Because
is no
current
solution.
solution.
Like, let's just, okay. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, like I really am. That sucks. But for me, it really comes down to this, right?
Hmm.
You can't. Um, the only solution is not letting. Let me see. How do I? My little sister, for example, yeah, she wanted to play. She's into video games, right? I let her play my video games. I never let her play them online, ever.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, until she got to a certain age, I didn't let her play them online. Period. Like
yeah.
that's just it. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be bad people online, right? And you cannot. There's nothing Nintendo can do to filter those people out. You
I
know, at
think
the
I,
very
I think
the
I
most
think
you can have
maybe the
to
one option maybe is like you could just have a maybe like a filter, like in a sense where it's like, all right, I want them to be able to play Splatoon, but I don't want them to have voice chat period, and there's like a button that you can hit.
exactly. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Xbox 360 had that option where there
Hmm.
were people who you couldn't see their account. You couldn't see their account. You couldn't interact with them at all. That's the most you can do is you can give people the option to block everybody out.
Hmm.
But you cannot because there's no way to selectively block people. There's no way to tell who's a racist, who's sexist,
Yeah.
who's a convicted child molester. You know, there's
Yeah.
no way to
There's
tell.
no
There's
way.
nothing on
Yeah.
accounts that say this, right? So you either block everyone or you block no one. That's it, right? So for me, I'm like that's really all they can do, which is what I was gonna get to, is that you have to improve the parenting options on your console. I've never actually looked. I can't tell you how intense parenting options
Nintendo.
is.
This is the thing with the Switch. They actually made a really funny, really awesome trailer about parental controls. But it was not. It was less about censorship and voice chat. It was more about just like like okay, you have an app on your phone that is like, look, I can check how long my kid has been playing. So if I don't want my kid playing for like 18 hours of Mario Kart, because that's probably not a healthy thing for him to be doing, I can just flat out say you have a time limit, and you can forcibly turn off the Switch if you
Well,
have
that's
to.
pretty cool.
And it's actually a really seeing that, I'm like, okay, that's a good step way forward. It's a good compromise
Yeah.
to give parents the control over their children, so that they can have they can have a good experience. Because I would hate to see a kid have a game like that ruined because of some asshole online. I would hate for
Yeah.
like to see that. But yeah, I think they need to really buckle down and find a better solution, for vocal play.
I mean, you said it yourself. Sorry, you were done.
No. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I'll say you said it yourself. Like they need to improve their parenting options. Like
Hmm.
like they're there giving you the option to switch off the console when your child has played for too long, which is a good option, by the way.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
they're not giving you any option to protect your child through the console. Like now to be fair, I can't talk about the PS4 or the Xbox One. I've never looked at the parental options on those consoles because I'm not a parent and I'm not a child.
Well, I have actually looked at the parental options, and they are standard. I actually think Nintendo's parental options for the Switch is way better and way more in depth, and allows you to do more stuff than the PlayStation or the Xbox. But the thing is that Nintendo is meant to have this family friendly appeal. And
Yeah.
I feel like that they're so protective of that mentality that they're willing to go to ridiculous lengths. I mean, to be fair, other than the voice chat stuff, I'm very interested to see when the online stuff comes out. Because what I've been hearing is that people tried out the beta test for ARMS, for example, right? And the
Yeah.
online functionality for ARMS is really, really good. It was really smooth matches. There was not a whole no lag, no slowdown, no anything like that, and it seems actually good quality. It's not, and I'm excited because I'm like, okay, it's not going to be a shit show like PlayStation was before PlayStation Plus came along. So that makes me happy, and I think the other thing that makes me happy is because I was gonna pay for both regardless, right? Because Monster Hunter, right? I'm going to play Monster Hunter, right?
Instead, how can I hold all this money?
I mean, Monster Hunter is like, well, like I have to, like I just don't have an option. If I have to, throw some groceries away, that's fine. I'll play Monster Hunter instead.
He's like, nobody ever died from not eating food.
If I want to eat, hey, listen, I can just make a well done steak. I can just cook that in Monster Hunter, and that will do me for the evening.
Oh my god.
But honestly, I'm happy in the sense where it's like I'm not gonna have to pay as like a second crazy amount, because I would want both,
Yeah.
And I am excited for free NES games. That I'm excited for because that will help increase my Switch library. Because right now the only 2 games I really want to get for the Switch at the moment are Splatoon 2 and ARMS. So I haven't, and maybe the SMT game whenever a reveal date comes out for that. But I'm waiting for some more like really like punchy titles to come out, and I haven't seen a whole lot at the moment, but I know that they are coming. But yeah, that's Nintendo. But before we run out of time, let's move on to Overwatch.
Yeah, this might take a while. So Overwatch, they recently threw up a new map on the PTR. It's Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon. It's an assault map, which I absolutely hate assault maps. So it's funny. I'm sitting there and I see the headline. It's like new map in Overwatch, and I'm excited, and I click it, and it's an assault map. I'm like, shit. And that's it. I haven't really watched too much gameplay of it because I was like, there is a nice little trailer. It's set on the moon, the moon base that Winston grew up on. You can actually leave the base and go outside, and it's like zero gravity. But like that area, it's like the car section in Oasis. It doesn't actually affect gameplay. It's just it's just a cute little Easter egg. The map is probably going to be coming maybe the week after. I figured we're going to get something the week after the event. I thought it was going to be a hero. But speaking of the new hero, Jeff, not to read too much into stuff because, God knows we had enough of that during the Sombra days. But Jeff said, and I'm quoting, he said that the new hero is coming sooner than you guys think. He's right over the horizon. Those were his words. Those were his exact words. And then a couple of weeks later, they announced a new map called Horizon. Right. So, take it as you will. I'm not touching that anymore. Cool-looking new map. The bigger news here, though, is a patch. I don't want to say big patch, but some pretty big changes. Some, pretty big changes. Oh, yeah, so one other thing that they added. Oni Genji and Officer Diva have been added to classic loot boxes.
Yay!
Did you end up playing Heroes of the Storm?
I never got the chance. I tried. Because this is another issue in which my internet for my computer upstairs is not the greatest. So for whatever reason, I can talk to you right now, no problem. I can watch YouTube videos, no problem. But if I want to download something, like actually download Heroes of the Storm on my computer, it's like that's going to take 2 days. And I have no fathomable reason why, but that's the main reason why I missed out. So I'm kind of glad that they did this because there's a lot of people that made a very interesting point, and I'm very interested it's a bit of a tangent, but I'm very interested to see what you think about this. Is that part of the problems is that all the new skins are associated with an event, or most of them, right? Yeah. There's not a whole lot of skins that are being added to just classic loot boxes. So whenever we're not in an event, it's like there's no loot boxes that people can just, there's no new skins that people can just buy for 1,000, And
I mean, Reinhardt got one.
Reinhardt got one, but think about how long ago that was.
Yeah, that was September.
Yeah, so it's kind of
like... Oh my god.
Yeah. That's my point. And I'm just thinking to myself, I know a lot of people have been saying that they should, at some point, the anniversary skins should make their way into Classic. Because, people are, because I know a lot of people are saying, I have exams right now, I'm not going to have time to get these skins. And that's going to suck for a lot of people.
For me, I think I mentioned this a couple podcasts ago, I think what they should do is that a year after every event, they should add the skins from that event to the rotation, right? To just add them to the rotation and make them 1,000, right? Because, it's like something going on sale, right? Okay, so the people who paid 3,000 for it, they paid to get it early. They paid to get it, like you paid to get the Witch Mercy skin in October, but then this October, a year later, this other Mercy player who just joined the game can still get the skin for like 1,000, and it'll join the regular rotation. The one issue that we could get, and the one reason why Blizzard needs to be careful with that is that if you add too many skins to the regular rotation, then all of a sudden, like for example, you know how I always complain that Tracer gets too many skins, right? Imagine if all those skins have now been added to the rotation, and then you don't play Tracer. Like the odds, because when the game launched, everybody had the same number of skins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was an equal chance of you getting a legendary skin. Oh yeah, not like Tracer 76, Bastion, Widowmaker, Pharah, and one other person got like a Reaper got the pre-order skin. But other than that, everybody had, I mean, one extra skin for each person. Everybody had, and those skins weren't even in the loot box area, right? Now it's like so completely out of balance that if you added all those skins to the rotation, all of a sudden Reinhardt, Tracer, and Mercy, you have a higher chance of getting skins for those characters versus Zarya. So like Hanzo, for example, would only have one. Sombra would have none. She has no seasonal legendary. Sombra and Ana would have none, right? So it would really throw off the collection rates. But whatever, that's another problem for another day. Patch notes. Let's get into the patch notes.
Right.
So, McCree, they changed Deadeye, which that's the only thing that they changed, and I think that's the only thing that they need to change. Some people wanted them to like reduce his fall off, and I'm like, how you people have like really short memories. The last time they did this was a nightmare. So anyway, they changed Deadeye. The targets now begin locking after 0.2 seconds instead of 0.8 seconds. I'm not entirely sure what this means. Wait, I know what this means. I'm not entirely sure how this affects him. It means that he starts building damage quicker, pretty much. Damage accumulated after the first second increased from 20 to 80. Damage per second after the first 1 second is unchanged. So what this is pretty much going to do is make his ultimate a lot, on paper anyway, make his ultimate, because like right now McCree's ultimate is terrible.
Honestly, I heard somebody explain that McCree's ultimate is a zoning tool. Like it's meant to get people to run away from a particular area, especially the squishies.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that...
So then you look at McCree's ultimate, you look at 76's ultimate, right? McCree's ultimate will make people run away from a zone. 76's ultimate will just kill them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you give a choice between making people leave and come back versus making them respawn.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Yeah, McCree's ultimate is terrible. Hands down, the worst DPS. I mean, like the worst offense hero ultimate in the game. Like so this change should make it better because the issue is that it has a really really high ceiling. But it also has a really, really, really low floor. So here they're bringing up the floor a little bit, where you can just pop the ultimate, after 1 second, just do like a quick 80 damage, which is like cleanup, right? Just like cleanup damage. You're in a long drawn out fight. Everybody's a little hurt. You just pop the ultimate, 1 second, bam, 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 bam. Do like 80 damage to like 3 people. That's I mean, it's not one shotting anybody. But 80 damage on a Tracer is over half of her health, right?
Yeah. So, it's still good. Like, that's much better, honestly.
Yeah, so I think this is a step in the right direction, but it's a very difficult change to judge until you see it in practice.
Exactly.
Reaper, this is the one that has people a little bit worried. So they've changed his passive. Reaper's old passive used to be that every time someone died, they left a little soul. And if you consume the soul, he gained, like, 25 HP, I think, 50 HP, whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. The problem was that he needed people to be dead, at which point your healers would just heal you, or you could go get a health pack, right? Yeah. So now they changed it completely. He regains 20% of all damage done to heroes as health.
This will be interesting.
This could be problematic.
It could. Honestly, I know the reason why they did this, because I heard somebody complaining that the problem with Reaper is that a lot of times, if there's no healer near you, it's a lot of just waiting for the right moment to pick up your orbs. And at that point, it would just be smarter for you to not pick up your orbs and just go get a health pack or find your healer. So the orbs felt like a really like kind of used but kind of not used mechanic, you know?
Yeah, the orbs were a shitty mechanic.
Yeah, they're a shitty mechanic. Yeah, like let's call it what it is.
Yeah, but this is interesting.
This,
I mean, like, I don't know if that was Reaper's problem. Reaper's problem was that he couldn't initiate on people. At least one of his main problems was that he couldn't initiate on people. Like, how's Reaper ever going to kill a 76? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than sneaking up behind him and two-shotting him before he realizes he's there, how is a Reaper ever going to kill a 76 against or a Tracer? Now, then the other issue is that Reaper is supposed to kill tanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But other than Winston, Reaper couldn't, like, 1v1 any of the tanks. Zarya at 25 energy could beat Reaper. Roadhog could one-shot Reaper. We're going to get to that later.
Yeah.
Roadhog could one-shot Reaper. Reinhardt does 75 damage per swing. Like, Reaper has to be close to Reinhardt to shoot him. And when you're close to Reinhardt, it doesn't matter who you are, man. You are getting hurt. The only Diva defense matrix just completely...
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're not supposed to kill DPS, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna help him a lot killing tanks. It's literally impossible for Winston to kill a Reaper now. Like, it's actually impossible. No, I mean, to be fair, it was very close to being impossible before, but now it's actually impossible. You just cannot out DPS him. He's going to be Winston does too little DPS, Reaper does too much damage, and now Reaper's going to be healing 20%.
Yeah.
Of every shot.
Because this I think the biggest thing people are worried about is his sustainability. Because his sustainability now, because if he sees a tank, like a slow tank, like a Roadhog, he can just shoot him and, you know, just heal up. Like, he can just boom, 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 boom.
That's what worries people. But then, you know, like, Roadhog still does a lot of damage. Okay, we don't know how much damage Roadhog does yet. We're going to get to Roadhog Changes. Okay, let's just talk about the Roadhog Changes so we can talk about everything as one. So Roadhog's headshot hitbox was reduced by 20%. Blizzard have been doing this with all the attacks. They reduced Winston, they reduced Orisa, now they've reduced Roadhog. I wonder if they're going to do it to Diva, because that was one of Diva's biggest
I thought they reduced Diva at some point.
I don't think so, but I don't know. They made so many changes to Diva. Maybe I forgot. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because a headshot hitbox when the game launched was massive.
Yeah.
So, scrap gun bullet damage decreased by 33%. Fire rate increased by 30. Clip size increased from 4 to 5. Like, these changes, I literally cannot tell how this is going to play out. Because this isn't, I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf. This is just a straight up change. He has more survivability. One of Roadhog's biggest issues was that when he stopped to breathe, you could just, like, pepper his head.
Yeah.
Bullets. And, you know, like, he's just a giant, like, hitbox. Just soaking up damage. So now his headshot hitbox has been reduced by 20%. It should give him a little bit more survivability. Because one of Roadhog's biggest issues, one of his issues right now is that, like Tracer, for example, you know, whenever I see, you know, the few games that I played with Tracer, whenever I see a Roadhog, I'm like, I'm going to have an ult, like, every single fight. Because just, like, he's a giant hitbox, and unlike every other tank he has no shield. Right?
Yeah. And I think the big thing, honestly, I think the big change to him that I'm interested in as someone who plays a decent amount of Roadhog is the fact that he's going to have 5 shots, which is a big deal. Because one of the biggest things with Roadhog that is a constant issue is when you're fighting and then you have this moment where you go, oh shit, and it's like you don't have a shot ready. And that's really bad.
The flip side of that is that his bullet damage has been decreased by 33%. This means that he cannot one-shot 250 HP heroes anymore. So he can't one-shot me, he can't one-shot Reaper anymore. Now, to be fair, I don't think he should have ever been able to one-shot those heroes. I don't think he should have been able to do that. So this is good. The issue is that I don't think he can one-shot 200 HP heroes consistently anymore, which means Roadhog hooks a Mercy, and he can't one-shot her anymore.
I mean, like, the closest thing you could do is a shot in melee, which would be fast, but that's, like, not the same. It's not the same.
Then he can't, like, and this means, like, how are you going to kill a Genji now? Because, hooking a Genji is, I mean, you can still one-shot Tracer, so that's fine. But hooking a Genji is not easy, right? So you hook a Genji, you shoot him, you don't kill him, he pops his deflex, jumps up and dashes away and goes to go heal up, and now you're just sitting there as a sad little piggy. So I don't know about these changes. We shall see. The Reaper change. One other thing of note is that if this is a passive, so it affects him all the time. Meaning that when Reaper pops his ultimate does a lot of damage, and he's going to get 20% of that back as HP.
I think that's going to make a big difference, because one of the things about Reaper is that when he's popping his ultimate, the key is kill him fast. Kill him fast or get some defense, go behind the Reinhardt shield, have the D.Va do a defense matrix. There's a bunch of ways to deal with it, but one of the more simpler ones is just, hey, soldier, you got a rocket, aim for his head and deal a shit ton of damage so that he spends 2 seconds in Death Blossom.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna that was my first thought, but I don't think it's gonna make as much of a difference because before you could still just sound barrier plus Death Blossom, and then you can't kill the Reaper. The other issue is you can just CC him, Earth Shatter, Flashbang, Hook, Sleep Darts.
No, but what I'm saying is that there's still going to be obviously a lot of ways to just shut down Death Blossom. But I'm saying that I'm just saying if the scenario comes up where it's like it's a soldier. Maybe it's a soldier, a Mercy, and let's say a Roadhog, for example. And let's say the Roadhog doesn't have his hook ready, right? Then
because I was gonna say you realized that.
I'm trying. Winston. Because that in that regard, if he can hit anyone with that Death Blossom, it's gonna be a lot harder to kill him. But I mean, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as some people are saying.
No, I don't actually think it's going to be a problem at all because there's still a lot. There's still generally, in my experience, Reaper gets CC'd a lot when he pops Death Blossom. It's not hard to CC him, or you can just boop him. Lucio boops him away, and he doesn't move a lot when he's Death Blossom. And his Death Blossom, and the range is a lot smaller than it looks. So you just boop him away, and then you're in the corner just spinning and not doing anything. I don't know. We'll see. These are interesting changes. They're probably not going to hit live until after the event is done. In fact, they're definitely going to hit live until after the event is done. So not this coming Tuesday, maybe the next Tuesday. But if I had to guess, I'd say the Tuesday after that. But these are interesting changes. I'm very, very curious to see how these play out. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely. But before we end our podcast, we've got a question from the day. Question of the day from the lovely J Streets. Shout outs to J Streets.
Shout outs to J Streets.
And he's asking us. Yeah, I was waiting for you because that's the like. Come on, man! I set you up and everything.
I'm sorry.
But he's asking us what features, added content, game changes do you like to see in order to have a successful New Game Plus?
Honestly, not a whole lot. I just want my stuff to carry over. That's the main thing for me. If I mean that's always the case because I mean if it's not carrying over then it's not a new game. You might as well just make a new game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's a big one. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have high standards when it comes to New Game Plus. I just want my stuff to carry over. Now everything else is gravy. Give me some new areas, some areas that unlock in New Game Plus. Some like in Persona, I don't know about Persona 5, but I know in
Persona 5 apparently has a really good New Game Plus.
Yeah, I know in Persona 4 there was some Persona that you could only get in New Game Plus. So yeah, there's that. But in general, I just want my stuff to carry over. Honestly, I don't care about much else because like with Witcher 3, I started a New Game Plus and I just like the fact that I didn't have to start grinding and leveling my character up because I had all my abilities, I had all my tools, I had all my alchemy ingredients. So yeah, same thing with Dark Souls. Oh, okay. One thing. Speaking, it's good that I brought up Dark Souls because that is one thing. Is that because I'm carrying everything over, the difficulty has to scale properly because that's what's killed Dark Souls 3's New Game Plus for me. The game was way too easy.
New Game Plus, yeah.
The first boss of the game, I forget his name, but he's not
Undex Grunder, I think.
Yeah. So he's not difficult, right? Even in New Game.
Even in New Game, he's not that difficult. Like I actually fought him. I think I beat him on my second try. All things.
Yeah, but in New Game Plus, he's so free. It's unbelievable because you know how you walk up to him, you pull the sword out of him, right? Yeah. And he starts standing up. You can hit him while he's standing up.
Oh
right?
yeah.
in New Game Plus, I did so much damage that by the time he stood up and his life bar had appeared, he lost 80% of his health.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So like there were bosses that I beat without getting touched. It just wasn't fun. So after a while, I just stopped playing. That was the reason why I never finished Dark Souls 3 in New Game Plus, because I was like, this is just boring.
This is boring.
So that is actually
scaling difficulty. Make it like, don't make it too ridiculously hard, but make it hard enough that it doesn't seem like a cakewalk.
Exactly.
With me, I would say there's a couple things that I personally, what I consider the best New Game Pluses, the stuff that is I feel like makes New Game Plus actually worth it, is one, you want to surprise the player. You just want to surprise the player a second time. That's the biggest key thing. Because if you have a New Game Plus in which the enemies have more health, but you get to carry over your stuff, nothing really changes, then there's no reason for you to not just start a new game. If you're going to get the exact same experience, you might as well start from the bottom and then get to the top. Unless you really want those weapons or items. So the other things that I really like, and Dark Souls 2 actually has a fantastic New Game Plus, weirdly enough. I like enemy placement. Change it up a bit. Because there's nothing more awesome when you get to an area and then it's like, that's not supposed to be here, what the hell? And it surprises you. The Resident Evil 7 has a great one, in which there's a part in the beginning of the game in which you're supposed to get a gun at this point, and you don't get that gun, and that gun is in a completely different spot, and it's harder to get to in New Game Plus. Or there's enemies that show up that are supposed to show up at the end game that show up right at the beginning this time, and in a surprising new way. The other thing I also really like, hidden cutscenes, hidden bosses, I think is also a really cool thing to have in New Game Plus, because it gives you incentives like, oh, I really want to see that hidden boss. I'm going to play New Game Plus now, as sort of like a reward. Persona 5 also does something really interesting, now that I've beaten it, is it rewards the player with special items that you carry over into New Game Plus. So for you completing certain things in the base game in a specific way, you get a bunch of cool items that you can only use in New Game Plus, and that makes the experience a lot different. But it's those little things. I think the biggest thing for me for making a very successful New Game Plus is you have to surprise the player to some extent. Because if they're just going to get the same thing, then I don't see any purpose of them playing New Game Plus, if only to just keep the stuff.
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good answer. A lot better than I mean, not that this is a competition, but a lot better than my answer. And I completely agree with everything that you said. I'm trying to think. Have I played a lot of New Game Pluses? Because I feel like I haven't played a lot of New Game Pluses. That's part of the reason why my answer was so blah.
Well, no. But that's the thing. I've played it. I haven't actually really played that many New Game Pluses because I'm usually just not. I don't have the incentive to. For the most part, I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. You have maybe this and this and this, but it doesn't change the game enough for me to want to just, carry over. I would rather have a character at the end game with all the stuff, and I can just go revisit levels and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing for me. Is that I like it when they surprise you. Because I feel like there's a lot of New Game Pluses that they just don't surprise you. If anything, they do exactly what you're expecting, which is kind of shitty. But overall, really good question. Really good question, J Streets. But if you got a question for us, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, and we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, William Liberty, and...
Otherwise, Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.